Okay, Emily, I have updated the prototype, taking into consideration your feedback from the document. So I wanted to get a final preliminary approval for the specifications so I can get final pricing. During development, we can change some of the features and adjust them, but I wanted to make sure that I incorporated all the main components that you needed in the app. So, starting with the login, again, we could log in with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email, any form of registration is fine. I just used the most common ones. And then a legal disclaimer, which I'm sure you guys would want. Syncing across devices, it would connect the calendar and so forth to the app. And then we move into the main screen. And I did change some tabs to add some of the feedback from the document. So starting with the information screen, it would bring up the general information of the event. The time, the date, the location, a map so they can navigate, phone number, email, and also attendees can connect with social media, any ones you want. We can change these as well. One thing I wanted to again discuss is sponsor banners and banner ads. It's much better to have them at the bottom. It's a lot cleaner. It looks more formal rather than them scrolling across the top. So from here back to the home screen, they can go to the main schedule. And again, you can have a video here of an introduction to the event, whatever you want to do, some photos. It's completely up to you. But the main screen here for the schedule would have the time and date and when it's open, but then also you can go down into the different days, let's say Saturday or Sunday or Monday. And going back to Saturday, just because that's where I have the example, it could list all the sessions, all the classes, all the speakers. And again, these would be formatted much bigger and scrollable. So I just grabbed a screenshot and put that in here, but it is functional. So let's say that you wanted to attend the Empowering Your Consultant class. Tap on that. It would come up with the instructor, the time and location, and you can tap on each one of these information buttons, read about the instructor. You can email the floor map. You can tap on that and you would see a highlight area where the session would be taking place. If you go back to the main screen here, you can also sync it with your calendar. So let's say you wanted to attend it, you just tap that, it would automatically sync with your calendar and you'd be reminded of it before the class. Going back to the main screen, messaging hasn't changed. You can in-app message other attendees. Everybody that registers becomes an attendee, so you could be able to scroll through and compose a new message, click on the plus, and scroll through and find whoever you wanted to message via in-app. So this would not go through the device itself. Excuse me. Next section would be search things. Now I've added sponsors to this so I can free up a tab on the home screen, but exhibitors, speakers, attendees, sessions, sponsors, whoever you want it in here, whatever list you want to build is fine. But for instance, exhibitors, tap on it. You could search by category or alphabetically. I used Beaming White, as you had seen before. It would give a description of who they are, what they're offering at the event, if it's that type of an event, like a retail trade show or something. Their floor location, again with the highlighted area, and you can call them, email them, or visit their website. So you can load all these exhibitors in from the back end and really tailor it to however you want. The next section is the interactive floor plan. Now we would let you know what type of format we would need the floor plan in. There's a couple different ways we can do it, and we'll discuss that during development. But for instance, you would be able to tap on any booth and see who's at that booth. You could search by exhibitor, and then once you tap on it, it would take you to the booth that they were occupying. Games I did do based off of your feedback. Now you can have trivia, you could have puzzles, you could have like a match game. Those little details we can work out during development. However, the more complex the game, it may affect the price at that time. I wouldn't know because we don't really know exactly what type of games. But for instance, trivia games, watching a video and answering questions, those types of things would be included in the back end. You drop in a video, add some questions, true or false or multiple choice. If they submit it, they win a prize, or we could set it up to where you put in the right answers, and based on what they submit, it could grade the score for them and tell them, well, you got 1 out of 2 wrong, or 2 out of 3, or whatever. But again, we can define that during development. So for instance, you drop in a video, true or false, couple questions, 3, 4, it doesn't matter. You can scroll through it. And then you submit your answers, and it would be sent to the admin. And then you would be able to see who submitted and who engaged with that particular activity. Next one is notes. This hasn't changed. You'll be able to take notes while you're at a session, or if you're just browsing around. You'll have My Notes, and then you'll have Shared Notes. Now, Shared Notes, let's say you compose a new note, and you type your text, you hit Done, you'll have the option to share this note with the group or all the attendees. You hit OK, and then the note would show up in everybody else's shared file. So it would have, who submitted it and the time, and, a little bit about what it is. Now we can actually have a title if you want, and then some text underneath, but I just kept it simple. So My Notes and Shared Notes, and you'll be able to scroll through and share those. The next section, which I did add based on your document, was My Sessions. Now, every time you sync or add a session to your calendar, it will then show up in My Sessions. So let's say you're going to attend the Empowering Your Consultant class. You tap on that, gives the information, but it also gives these options. Would you like to send the speaker a question for the Q&A? You hit yes. It's going to go to Mary Andrews, who is the instructor or the speaker. You type your text, you hit send, and it will be shared with the group. So they'll get a notification that there's a new question. You can also send feedback to the admin privately as you had requested. Type it in, tell us what you liked or disliked, and then send it, and you're done. So going back to the home screen, down here at the bottom is just a quick access to their device calendar, so they could see what sessions they have or what they're going to be attending. And then also the notifications. So any notifications that you send, any new notes or questions from a session, it's going to show up here. So let's say there's a location change like you had mentioned. They'll get a notification, a badge icon to check their messages. Hey, there's a new riddle. There's a giveaway, or whatever it is. You'll be able to customize these notifications and push them out. as well as the notes, or I'm sorry, the question and answers during a session would pop up in here, and they'd be able to read those. And then I added a photo button, just playing around at the event. If people want to take photos and submit them to either social media, or we could add their own intranet. As you had mentioned, they have a in-office or inter-office enterprise intranet. We can add that as well. So they'll be able to take a photo right through the app and have fun with that. And that's really it. So we can add and change during development, but I at least wanted to give you an idea of the main components and allow you to kind of think on these. And if this is close to the features that you'd want, give me the okay, and I will get the final pricing on this, because this is a pretty large project. If you're talking about, syncing devices with attendees across 4 different platforms, iOS, Android, BlackBerry, Windows, we'd have to sync them all together. Building these components is not a small feat when you're talking about all the intuitiveness. Tapping on the schedule, tapping on a day, a class, a time, an instructor, all that has to be developed and tested and tested and tested. Because I'll tell you, the worst thing to do is to build a nice looking app and send it out to the users, and it doesn't function correctly. It looks good, but it doesn't sync. It's unstable. It crashes. And that's why the development for this type of project would be long, because we want to collaborate with your team. We want to make sure that you guys are testing and trying to break it, and literally trying to cause a bug or cause a failure. And that takes, a good month and a half to do. So, this could be a game changer for your company. It would set you apart from any other event and meeting, company out there. But it has to be done the right way. So I will give you access to the prototype software program where you can actually go in and click these buttons and see how they work. And the video may suffice if you show it to management. Give me the okay, and we'll get the pricing for it.